There is a time to speak and a time to remain silent, a time to declare and a time to keep the mystery hidden within. The greatest power is often found not in what is spoken, but in what is withheld. The world has trained you to believe that every thought, every desire, every dream must be shared, announced, and affirmed by the voices of others. But God is whispering to you now, be silent. Guard what He has placed within you, for not everyone is meant to hear it. The sacred dreams planted in your heart are not for public display. They are the seeds of your destiny, fragile and precious. When a seed is planted in the soil, it is buried in darkness. It is unseen, unknown, and untouched by the hands of men. Yet within that quiet space, it takes root and begins to grow. If the soil is disturbed too soon, if the seed is exposed before it is ready, it will never reach its full potential. The same is true for you. The visions God has given you must be nurtured in silence, for speaking too soon can invite forces that seek to uproot them. There are those who do not wish to see you rise, people who pretend to celebrate you but secretly envy the blessings forming in your life. Even those closest to you may not understand the magnitude of what God is doing in you. The moment you reveal too much, you allow doubt, fear, and opposition to creep in. Some will discourage you, others will mock you, and some will work against you without you even knowing. Not because they are stronger than you, but because you gave them the key to your own destruction by speaking too soon. Look at the great figures of faith. How many of them walked in silence before their appointed time? Joseph had a dream of greatness, but when he shared it with his brothers, he was thrown into a pit. Not everyone is prepared to hear what God has whispered to you. Not everyone is worthy of knowing what He is unfolding in your life. There is wisdom in silence. There is power in restraint. When you keep your revelation between you and God, you protect it from the corrupting influence of outside opinions. The world will tell you that transparency is strength, that honesty is power, that revealing your plans makes you accountable. But God's wisdom is not the wisdom of the world. He calls you to move in silence, to walk by faith, to trust in the unseen. When the time is right, your blessings will speak for themselves. Your success will make the announcement for you. The work of God in your life will be undeniable, and those who doubt it will stand in awe. Be still, trust in the process. Hold your vision close. Let God be the only one who truly knows the depths of your heart. There is a reason He speaks in whispers and not in shouts. The most profound transformations happen in silence. Your miracle is forming, your destiny is unfolding, and the less you reveal, the more you allow God to work in ways beyond human understanding. The greatest works of God are performed in silence. The turning of the earth, the rising of the sun, the blooming of a flower, all unfold without a sound. Yet man, in his impatience, feels the need to speak, to reveal, to explain. He does not realize that the moment he exposes his inner world to the outer world, he invites into. There are forces, both seen and unseen, that move against the plans of the divine, not because they are more powerful, but because they thrive on the ignorance of those who reveal too much. When God is working in your life, He often calls you into a season of quietness. It is not a punishment, but a protection. It is a shield against those who would misunderstand, against those who would plant seeds of doubt, against those who, knowingly or unknowingly, would try to hinder your progress. The moment you speak your dreams to those who do not carry the same vision, you risk contamination. Every careless word spoken, every detail shared too soon, is like exposing a newborn to a storm before it has developed the strength to stand. A man who understands the ways of God does not announce his every move. He walks with certainty, but he does not seek validation from those who do not share his faith. He knows that what is being formed within him is sacred, and sacred things are not for display. When a sculptor begins his work, he does not invite the world to see the unfinished form. He works in solitude, carving, shaping, refining, until the masterpiece is ready. Only then does he unveil it. The same principle applies to you. What God is building in you is not yet ready for the eyes of the world. It is in the process of being perfected, and if you reveal it too soon, you expose it to hands that may seek to alter or destroy it. Look at the wisdom of Jesus. He spoke in parables, not to conceal truth, but to reveal it. Only to those who were ready to understand. He performed miracles, but often instructed those he healed to tell no one. He moved in power, yet he did not boast. Even before his greatest victory, the resurrection, there was silence. 3 days in the tomb, 3 days of mystery, 3 days where the world believed the story was over. But the silence was not emptiness. It was the preparation for the manifestation of divine power. God moves in the unseen. His voice is a whisper, not a roar. His plans unfold like the tide, steady yet unnoticed by those who are not paying attention. When he calls you into silence, it is not because he has forgotten you. It is because he is preparing you. He is aligning things in your favor. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events that will bring you into the fullness of what he has promised. But if you speak too soon, if you share what is not yet meant to be revealed, you risk delaying what is meant for you. Not everyone around you is for you. Some will smile in your presence, but question your path in private. Some will encourage you to your face, but secretly hope you fail. Others will pretend to understand, but will fill your heart with doubt when you are most vulnerable. It is not because they are evil, but because they do not see what you see. They do not carry the revelation you carry. And so they speak from their own limitations, their own fears, their own doubts. In this, if you are not careful, their words will take root in your mind, and what was once a burning flame of faith will become a flickering ember. Silence is a strategy. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. A lion does not roar before it captures its prey. A warrior does not reveal his strategy before the battle. The wise do not speak of their plans until they have already set them in motion. You must learn to protect what is sacred. You must learn to move in silence, to guard your words, to trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by, even if no one else knows about it. There will be times when you feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to let the world know what is happening within you. Resist the temptation. Your growth does not require an audience. Your transformation does not need applause. Let your success be your voice. Let the manifestation of God's promises in your life be the testimony that speaks for you. The enemy is always listening, waiting for an opportunity to sow confusion, to stir doubt, to create obstacles. He does not need to attack what he does not know exists. This is why those who move in silence often rise above those who seek constant validation. They understand that revelation is not for everyone. There is a time for speaking, and there is a time for waiting. There is a time for declaring, and there is a time for remaining hidden. You must discern which season you are in. Think of the caterpillar that enters the cocoon. It does not announce its transformation. It does not seek approval for the change that is taking place within. It simply surrenders to the process, trusting that in due time it will emerge as something greater. If the cocoon is broken too soon, the butterfly will never take flight. The process must be completed in secrecy, in stillness, in the sacred space where God does his most profound work. You are in a cocoon of divine preparation. Do not be in a hurry to reveal what is not yet finished. Trust in the timing of God. Trust that when it is time, he will bring you forth in a way that no one can deny. Until then, hold your peace. Walk in faith. Speak only to God. Let your silence be your strength. The world may not understand, but that does not matter. What matters is that you are aligned with divine wisdom. What matters is that you are protecting what has been placed within you. Be still, be silent, be careful with whom you share your dreams. Not everyone is meant to know what God has spoken to you. The less you reveal, the more he can do. The quieter you are, the louder his work will speak when the time is right. What is forming in you is too great to be wasted on ears that do not understand. Hold it close, cherish it. Let it grow in the secret place, and when the time comes, the world will see what God has done in you without you ever having to say a word. There is a reason God calls you to silence. He knows the weight of what He has placed within you, and He knows the dangers of revealing it too soon. Every word spoken is a seed cast into the world, and not every ground is fertile. Some seeds fall on rocky soil, where doubt and fear choke them before they can take root. Some fall among thorns, where the jealousy and negativity of others will strangle them before they can grow. But the seeds kept in the secret place, the seeds nurtured in faith and protected by silence, will flourish in ways beyond imagination. God does not reveal His plans to the world before they are complete. When He formed creation, He did not call a council. He spoke within Himself, and in the silence of eternity the universe took shape. If the Almighty Himself operates in divine secrecy, how much more should you? If the Creator of all things moves in silence, allowing His works to manifest in perfect time, how much more should you guard the mysteries He has entrusted to you? There are forces in this world that thrive on premature revelation. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can interfere, he can delay, he can plant distractions in your path to weaken your faith. He does not need to destroy the vision, he only needs to make you question it. And how does he do this? Through the words of others, through the doubts they speak into your life, through the opinions of those who do not see what you see. When Joseph shared his dream, he believed he was speaking to those who would rejoice with him. Instead, he awakened envy, and his own brothers sought to destroy him. Had he remained silent, his path might have unfolded differently. His destiny was still fulfilled, but his journey was marked by betrayal and hardship. Even so, God used it all for good. But learn from his story. Understand that not every revelation is meant to be shared. Some things are for you and God alone. When Nehemiah set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he did not announce his plans to everyone. He surveyed the land in silence, moving carefully, discerning who was for him and who was against him. He understood the power of secrecy. He knew that not everyone who smiles in your presence is aligned with your purpose. He waited until the work was already in motion before revealing his intentions. This is wisdom. This is divine strategy. This is the way of those who walk in alignment with God. Silence is not passivity, it is strength. It is the shield that guards your faith, the barrier that protects your vision. When you speak too soon, you invite resistance before the foundation has even been laid. When you reveal too much, you expose yourself to voices that can weaken your confidence. But when you hold your peace, when you trust in God's perfect timing, you give Him the space to work freely, without interference, without interruption. There will be moments when the urge to share overwhelms you, when you feel the need to explain yourself, to justify your journey, to seek affirmation from those around you. Resist the temptation. The validation of man is fleeting. The approval of people is fickle. One moment they will praise you, and the next they will question your worth. Do not build your foundation on the shifting sands of human opinion. Stand firm in the quiet assurance that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Your silence is not a sign of weakness, it is a mark of spiritual maturity. The more you grow in faith, the more you will understand that some things are too sacred to be spoken prematurely. Some dreams are too divine to be exposed to the doubt of unbelieving hearts. Some promises are too precious to be laid bare before those who cannot comprehend their significance. Do not mistake silence for inaction. Just because you are not speaking does not mean you are not moving. Just because you are not announcing does not mean you are not advancing. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen in the quiet. Some of the most powerful transformations take place in the unseen. Just as a tree grows its roots deep into the earth before it ever breaks the surface, your foundation must be established in silence before your success is made visible. Look at the example of Jesus. He often withdrew to lonely places to pray. He did not seek crowds when he needed clarity. He did not broadcast his every move. Even when he performed miracles, he would sometimes instruct those he healed to say nothing. He understood the weight of divine timing, He knew that some things must be hidden before they can be revealed. He knew that the power of God moves most profoundly in the quiet places, away from the noise of the world. If you truly trust God, you do not need to prove yourself to anyone. You do not need to explain what He is doing in your life. You do not need to justify your journey. Let your fruit speak for itself. Let your results be your testimony. Let your transformation be the evidence of God's hand upon you. Those who doubted will see, those who questioned will understand. And those who sought to hinder you will be silenced, not by your words, but by the undeniable manifestation of God's power in your life. Be patient, be still, be silent. The greatest victories are not announced before they are won. The most powerful moves of God often begin in obscurity. Do not despise the hidden seasons. Do not rush the process. Do not seek the approval of those who were never meant to walk your path. What God has begun in you, He will bring to completion. And when the time is right, the world will see what He has done, and they will know that it was never by your power, but by His. Until then, guard your heart, guard your words, guard the vision that has been placed within you. Move in wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that the silence you keep today is the foundation of the greatness that will be revealed in due time. There is a sacredness in keeping silent. The world teaches that you must speak to be seen, that you must announce your plans, declare your dreams, and seek validation. But the ways of God are higher than the ways of man. The greatest works of God often begin in stillness, hidden from the eyes of the world, growing in power before they are revealed. When a seed is planted, it does not cry out for recognition. It does not demand that the world take notice of its potential. It remains buried beneath the earth, unseen, as its roots grow deep and strong. It is in the darkness of the soil that it is prepared for the light. The same is true for you. What God has placed within you must be nurtured in silence before it can be revealed in glory. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Not everyone is equipped to receive the vision that God has given you. There are those who will misunderstand, those who will mock, and those who out of their own insecurity will attempt to discourage you. Some will disguise their doubt as concern. Some will speak words that seem wise, but are laced with fear. Others will openly oppose you, hoping to shake your confidence before you have even begun. But their words hold no power unless you allow them to take root in your mind. God is not a God of confusion. When He speaks, He does so with clarity. If He has revealed something to you, it is not for the approval of man. It is not for discussion or debate. It is for you to guard and nurture until the appointed time. There is wisdom in moving in silence, in allowing God to order your steps without interference. The noise of others can drown out the voice of God if you allow it. The opinions of people can create doubt where there was once certainty. Even Jesus, the Son of God, understood the importance of silence. Before He began His public ministry, He spent time alone in the wilderness. He did not seek the validation of men. He sought communion with the Father. He understood that His mission was too great to be tainted by human opinion. He moved in wisdom, revealing only what was necessary at the right time. There were moments when He healed and instructed the healed to tell no one. There were truths He shared only with His closest disciples. He knew that revelation must come at the right time, to the right people. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. It is a shield that protects your faith, a boundary that guards your destiny. Do not be quick to reveal what God has placed within you. Do not expose the sacred to those who cannot see its value. Even Joseph, when he shared his dreams with his brothers, faced betrayal. They could not handle the vision God had given him. They could not rejoice in what was to come, and so they sought to destroy what they did not understand. You must learn the art of spiritual discretion. Just as a warrior does not reveal his strategy to his enemy, you must not reveal your purpose before its time. There are battles you will face that require silence. There are victories that will only be won when you allow God to fight for you. If you speak too soon, you may invite opposition that you are not yet prepared to withstand. If you reveal too much, you may awaken resistance before your foundation is fully established. The enemy does not fear what he does not know. When you keep silent, you move without obstruction. When you guard your words, you walk in divine protection. The moment you speak, you alert those who seek to hinder you. There are unseen forces that move against those who carry great purpose. The higher your calling, the greater the opposition. But the silent ones, the wise ones, the patient ones, they move forward while others are distracted. They build in secret while others seek attention. They grow strong in the quiet, and when the time comes, they rise with unstoppable power. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to remain silent. Even the mighty eagle does not announce its flight. It rises above the storm without a sound. It does not flap its wings in frantic motion, nor does it seek the approval of those below. It soars effortlessly, carried by the wind. This is how you must move, in the quiet confidence that God is lifting you, in the assurance that your elevation is not dependent on the recognition of others. Some will question your silence. They will wonder why you do not explain yourself, why you do not seek their input, but they do not need to understand. The path God has set before you is not for everyone to walk. If they were meant to see, He would have revealed it to them. If they were meant to know, He would have spoken to them. But He chose you. He entrusted you with this vision, and so you must protect it with all that you have. Do not be discouraged when people do not support you. Do not be shaken when others do not see what you see. Your purpose is not dependent on their understanding. Your destiny is not in their hands. The only validation you need is the confirmation that comes from God. And when you have that, no other opinion matters. There is power in moving in silence, in allowing your actions to speak louder than your words. When the time comes, your success will be undeniable. Those who doubted you will see. Those who questioned you will understand. And those who sought to hinder you will realize that they never had the power to stop what God has ordained. Stay in the secret place. Guard your heart. Protect your vision. Trust in the process. Move in wisdom. And when the appointed time arrives, when the foundation is firm and the work is complete, the world will witness the fullness of what God has done in your life. And they will know that it was not by your might, not by your power, but by His divine hand that you have prevailed. When God places something within you, it is not meant to be scattered like seeds upon stony ground where birds may come and devour it. It is meant to be nurtured in the depths of your being, to take root and grow strong before it is ever exposed to the world. The moment you speak too soon, the moment you reveal what is still in its infancy, you risk allowing doubt, fear, and opposition to crush what was meant to flourish in silence. There is a reason God calls His people to seasons of stillness. He understands the delicate nature of what is growing within you. A tree does not bear fruit in its first days. It takes time. The roots must go deep before the branches can rise high, and in that time of unseen growth, there is no announcement, no declaration, only quiet preparation. This is the wisdom of God, to work in the unseen before the manifestation becomes visible to the world. So many destroy their own blessings by speaking before the time. They feel the stirring of something great within them, and in their excitement they tell everyone. They share their vision, their plans, their dreams, only to find that others do not share their faith. They are met with skepticism, with words that plant seeds of doubt, and what was once a bright flame of confidence begins to flicker, slowly extinguished by the winds of opposition. There are those who cannot rejoice in what God is doing in your life because they are trapped in their own limitations. They do not see what you see. They cannot comprehend the magnitude of what is unfolding within you, and so they project their own fears onto you, not out of malice, but out of their own inability to believe. You must be careful who you share your vision with, for not everyone is equipped to handle it. Silence is not just protection, it is power. It allows you to move without interference. It allows you to build without distraction. It allows God to work without the contamination of human opinion. When Nehemiah set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he did not make an announcement. He did not tell everyone his plans. Instead, he moved in silence, surveying the city under the cover of night. He knew that if he spoke too soon, opposition would arise before the work had even begun. He understood that revelation must come at the appointed time, not before. Your silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Every great work that God does begins in the secret place. Before Moses was called to lead, he spent years in the wilderness. Before David became king, he was alone tending sheep. Before Paul spread the gospel, he spent time in solitude, receiving revelation. They were all hidden before they were revealed. They were all silent before they were heard. Even Jesus, before he performed his first miracle, kept silent about who he was. He did not go shouting in the streets, proclaiming his power. He waited until the appointed time, and even then he often told those he healed to say nothing, because he understood the weight of timing. If the Son of God himself moved with such wisdom, how much more must we be careful with what we reveal and when? Some people will never be happy for you. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Some will listen only to gather information, waiting for the opportunity to use it against you. It is not paranoia to guard what God has placed within you. It is discernment. The enemy does not need to attack what he cannot see. But the moment you expose what is meant to be hidden, you invite opposition that could have been avoided. Not everyone is meant to be a witness to your process. Some are only meant to see the finished work. Some will not understand the struggle, the sacrifices, the quiet nights spent in prayer, the tears cried in private, but that is not their concern. The journey is yours, and it is between you and God. Let them see the fruit when it is ready, but do not expose the seed before it has had time to grow. There will be moments when silence feels heavy, when you long to share, when you want validation, encouragement, confirmation from those around you. But that is the test. Can you trust that God's voice is enough? Can you move without the applause of men? Can you build without recognition? Can you hold on to the promise even when no one else sees it? When you keep silent, you give yourself space to hear God more clearly. You remove the distractions of opinions, the noise of doubt, the weight of unnecessary questions. You position yourself to be led by the Spirit, to move in alignment with divine timing. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when God says, now, there will be no stopping what he has ordained. Those who spoke against you will have no words. Those who doubted you will have no arguments. Those who opposed you will realize they were powerless against what God has established. And you will stand, not because you sought approval, not because you defended yourself, not because you explained, but because you trusted, you obeyed, you remained silent until the moment God chose to reveal his work in you. Let silence be your strategy. Let wisdom be your guide. Move with purpose, with patience, with the understanding that what God has given you is sacred. Do not waste your energy trying to convince others of what God has already confirmed. Do not seek validation from those who cannot comprehend your calling. Guard your vision, protect your dreams, and trust that in the right season, what was once hidden will be revealed in the full brilliance of God's perfect plan. There is an immeasurable power in restraint, in holding back what the world is eager to snatch away. The moment you speak, you give away a piece of what is sacred. Every word carries energy, and when you speak prematurely, you risk dispersing the very force that was meant to sustain your manifestation. Not everything that is revealed to you is meant to be shared. Not everything God whispers in your spirit should be proclaimed before its time. There is a divine order to all things. Before the earth was formed, there was silence. Before the Word spoke light into existence, there was stillness. Creation itself teaches us that what is powerful begins in the unseen, in the void, in the quiet depths where transformation occurs. And yet so many are eager to announce what God is doing, before it has had time to take root. They feel the stirrings of change, the promise of something new, and instead of allowing it to develop in the secret place, they rush to declare it to the world. But what happens when you speak too soon? The moment you reveal what is meant to remain hidden, you invite forces that seek to derail you. You expose your dream to the weight of opinions, doubts, and expectations that were never meant to be part of its journey. You invite unnecessary battles, distractions, and delays. The enemy cannot attack what he does not know. He cannot oppose what he cannot see. But the moment you open your mouth, you give him access to what should have remained under God's protection. Consider Joseph, who was given a dream by God, a vision of his destiny, yet in his youthful excitement, he shared it too soon, revealing it to those who did not have the capacity to understand. And what was the result? Betrayal, envy, a journey into the pit. Though the dream was still fulfilled, the process was marked with suffering that could have been avoided had he exercised discretion. The lesson is clear. What God reveals to you is for you first. It is not for everyone. It is not for every season. It is for the appointed time. Some people listen to your dreams not to celebrate them, but to sabotage them. Some pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Others, even with good intentions, cannot see beyond their own limitations and will project their fears onto you. And if you are not strong in your faith, if you are not firm in your conviction, their doubts will become your own. Their fears will infiltrate your spirit. Their discouragement will weaken your resolve. And what was once a certainty in your heart will begin to feel like an impossibility. This is why silence is wisdom. Silence is a shield. It guards what is sacred. It allows God to complete his work in you without interference. Look at the greatest manifestations in Scripture. The miracles, the breakthroughs, the divine interventions. So many of them happened in silence. The Israelites marched around Jericho without a word until the appointed time to shout. Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist, was rendered mute until his son was born because God knew that his words of doubt could interfere with the prophecy. Even Jesus often withdrew from the crowds, performing miracles in secrecy, instructing those he healed to say nothing. There is a spiritual principle in this. What is divine must be protected. The process must be honored. The timing must be respected. When you move in silence, you allow God to go before you, to clear the path, to align every detail without disruption. You give yourself the space to hear him clearly, to be guided without the noise of external voices. You step into a realm of trust, knowing that what he has promised, he will fulfill, without the need for human validation. Silence does not mean inactivity. It does not mean stagnation. It means working, building, growing in the unseen. It means preparing in private so that when the time comes, what has been cultivated in the dark will shine with undeniable brilliance. When a seed is planted, it does not announce its progress. It does not seek recognition. It simply grows. Its roots go deep before the first sprout breaks through the surface. And when it finally emerges, it is strong, unshaken by the elements, because its foundation was established in silence. God is calling you to this kind of growth, to the kind of faith that does not need constant reassurance, to the kind of discipline that does not seek premature applause, to the kind of obedience that moves without explanation. The world has conditioned us to seek instant recognition, to share every step of our journey, to crave external approval. But the spiritual path is different. It is sacred. It requires moments of solitude, of quiet transformation, of unseen preparation. The challenge is this: can you trust God enough to remain silent? Can you resist the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to defend what God has placed within you? Can you hold on to the vision even when no one else sees it? Can you endure the waiting season without seeking validation from those who do not understand your calling? The most powerful moves of God often happen without announcement. When David was anointed king, he did not take the throne immediately. He returned to the fields, tending sheep hidden from the eyes of the world. When Moses was called to lead, He spent years in the wilderness before confronting Pharaoh. When Jesus was born, his arrival was not in a palace with grand declarations, but in the quiet of a manger, witnessed only by those whom God chose to reveal it to. And so it is with you. What God is birthing in you does not require public approval. It does not need to be broadcasted. It needs to be nurtured, protected, and allowed to develop according to His divine timing. Speak when God says speak, move when God says move. But until then, let your silence be your strength. Let it be your covering. Let it be the place where your faith is fortified, where your vision is sharpened, where your purpose is refined. Those who are truly called do not need to announce themselves. Their presence, their works, their results will speak in due time. Until then, remain in the secret place. Guard what has been entrusted to you, move with wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that when the moment of revelation comes, nothing and no one will be able to stop what God has ordained. There is a reason the greatest moments of transformation occur in solitude. The caterpillar enters the cocoon in silence, unseen by the world, and emerges as something entirely new. The foundation of a great building is laid beneath the surface, hidden from view, yet it determines the strength of what will rise above it. The most powerful storms are formed in quiet places, gathering their force before they ever make their presence known. So it is with the workings of God. What He has placed within you is not for everyone to see. Not yet. The seed does not explain itself before it grows. The tree does not announce each new root that extends beneath the earth. The process is sacred. It must be shielded, nurtured, protected from external forces that do not understand its purpose. And yet, so many sabotage their own manifestations by speaking too soon, by revealing what should have remained hidden, by allowing the opinions of others to pollute what was meant to be pure. There is an unseen realm where the true work takes place. It is in the quiet moments of prayer, in the stillness of surrender, in the depths of unwavering belief that the future is being formed. But to bring it forth, one must learn restraint. One must resist the urge to speak before the time is right. The moment you share your vision, you invite energy that is not always aligned with its fulfillment. You give room for doubt, for interference, for unnecessary opposition. The enemy does not need to attack what he does not know. He does not need to fight what has not yet been revealed. Some battles you are facing are not because of what you are doing, but because of what you have spoken. Some delays are not because of God's timing, but because you have exposed the process too soon. Not everyone will celebrate your elevation. Not everyone will understand your calling. Even those with good intentions may plant seeds of fear, doubt, or hesitation without realizing the harm they cause. Their limitations are not yours to carry. Their disbelief is not yours to entertain. The greatest power is in stillness, in moving in silence, in guarding what is sacred. Jesus Himself understood this. He did not reveal His full identity at once. He moved in wisdom, discerning who could be trusted, who was ready, who could handle the truth of His mission. And even then, He often withdrew to pray alone, to commune with the Father in the secret place. If the Son of God exercised such caution, how much more should we? The world values noise, but the Spirit moves in stillness. The world craves validation, but faith requires trust. The world teaches us to seek recognition, but true power is in remaining hidden until the appointed time. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. It is the strength to know that what is unfolding within you is far greater than what others can see. It is the patience to allow God to complete His work without interference. When a child is forming in the womb, it is not exposed to the outside world. It grows in darkness, nourished in secret, unseen by all but the Creator. And only when it is fully developed, when it is ready to enter the world, does it make its arrival. What if the process were rushed? What if the child were forced into the world too soon? The result would be incomplete, fragile, unable to survive the very environment it was destined to inhabit. And the same is true for what God is birthing in you. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to remain silent. There is a time to act, but there is also a time to wait. Those who understand this principle move differently. They are not swayed by external noise. They do not feel the need to announce every step. They walk in quiet confidence, knowing that when the moment comes, their manifestation will speak for itself. Some doors open only in silence. Some breakthroughs happen only in stillness. Some miracles require solitude before they can be revealed. The Israelites did not march around Jericho with loud declarations. They walked in silence until the appointed time to shout. The walls did not fall because of their noise. They fell because of their obedience. They fell because they understood the power of restraint, the power of divine timing, the power of moving in accordance with God's instruction rather than human impulse. God is calling you to this kind of faith, a faith that does not need immediate recognition, a faith that does not seek human approval, a faith that trusts in the unseen, that allows the process to unfold without interference, that understands the value of secrecy in a world that demands constant exposure. There is strength in keeping quiet. There is wisdom in holding back. There is power in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Do not allow impatience to push you into revealing what should be hidden. Do not let the need for validation make you expose what should be guarded. Move with intention. Protect your vision. Let your silence be a fortress around what God is building in you. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when the manifestation is undeniable, you will not need to explain yourself. What God has done will speak for itself. In the end, silence is not emptiness. It is power. It is the space where faith is tested, where visions are protected, where miracles are formed. What God is doing in your life does not require the approval or understanding of others. It only requires your trust. Let the world wonder. Let them question. Let them speculate. Your silence is not weakness. It is the shield that guards your destiny. When the time comes, your transformation will be undeniable, your elevation unmistakable, your manifestation unstoppable. Until then, move in wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that what is hidden now will be revealed in glory.
The greatest power in this universe is not found in force, struggle, or endless effort. It is found in stillness. It is found in the calm certainty that what you desire is already yours. Most people believe they must fight for their dreams, but the truth is the opposite. When you relax, when you trust, you allow your manifestations to flow into your reality effortlessly. Your state of being determines your state of having. So let go, trust, and watch your world transform before your very eyes. Your inner world is the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, and every assumption you make is actively shaping the experiences that unfold in your life. The external world is not separate from you. It is a direct reflection of the state of consciousness you embody. This is why you cannot simply wish for something to happen while remaining in a state of doubt, fear, or lack. What you impress upon your mind must be in alignment with what you wish to see in your life. When you fully grasp this truth, you will understand that the secret to effortless manifestation lies not in force or struggle, but in the mastery of your inner state. Most people live as though life is happening to them, believing that circumstances dictate their reality. They react to what they see, allowing the outside world to determine how they feel. But this is the opposite of how true creation works. The outer world is a mirror, a perfect reflection of what is happening within you. If you hold an image of abundance, joy, and fulfillment in your mind with unwavering faith, the world must conform to that image. Likewise, if you dwell in thoughts of lack, limitation, and struggle, reality will only continue to present experiences that reinforce those beliefs. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. The most powerful shifts occur when you stop seeking validation from external circumstances and instead cultivate an unshakable inner knowing that your desires are already yours. This is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about a deep, abiding faith in the creative power within you. Every great transformation begins with a change in consciousness. If you desire success, you must first become successful in your mind. If you seek love, you must first feel loved and worthy within. If you yearn for freedom, you must cultivate a state of inner liberation before it manifests outwardly. The moment you recognize that your inner world holds the key to everything you desire, you will no longer feel the need to force or chase. You will begin to relax into the realization that everything is unfolding perfectly according to the state of being you assume. This is why relaxation is essential. When you relax, you allow your mind to naturally align with your desires, rather than resisting or overanalyzing them. In a state of peace and certainty, the seeds of your desires take root effortlessly. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess, for it is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you persistently dwell in the feeling of already having what you desire, reality must reorganize itself to match that feeling. It does not matter what the current circumstances appear to be. They are simply the result of past states of consciousness. If you wish to change your reality, you must shift your internal world first. The key is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and rest in that assumption as if it were already fact. Many people mistakenly believe that they must work tirelessly to change their circumstances before they can feel at peace, happy, or fulfilled. But the truth is the opposite. When you cultivate the state of peace, happiness, and fulfillment first, your circumstances will inevitably change to reflect that state. This is not a process of forcing, but of allowing. The more relaxed and certain you become in your inner world, the faster and more effortlessly your desires will manifest. Doubt and fear are simply reflections of an inner state of disbelief. If you constantly worry about when or how something will happen, you are reinforcing the idea that it has not yet come to pass. This keeps you stuck in a cycle of waiting rather than receiving. But when you shift your attention inward and dwell in the conviction that your desire is already yours, you remove all resistance. You no longer look to the outside world for proof, because you understand that the proof must first exist within you. True mastery comes when you no longer seek to manipulate external conditions, but instead focus entirely on cultivating the inner state that naturally attracts everything you desire. It is a practice of faith, a knowing that the world cannot help but mirror back to you the reality you assume within. Every great creator understands this. The moment you take full responsibility for your inner world, your outer world begins to shift in ways that seem almost miraculous. But these are not miracles. They are simply the natural consequences of a mind that is aligned with its desires. The secret is simple. Dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not wait for evidence. Do not seek reassurance from the outside world. Instead, go within. Assume the feeling of already having and rest in that certainty. The world must conform, for it has no choice but to reflect the consciousness you embody. Relaxation is the key that unlocks the door to effortless manifestation. When you are tense, anxious, or doubtful, you create resistance between yourself and your desires. This resistance acts as a barrier, preventing what you seek from flowing naturally into your life. But when you relax, truly relax, you remove this barrier. You enter a state of ease, certainty, and knowing, allowing the forces of creation to work in your favor without interference. The process of manifestation is not about struggle or force. It is about alignment. The more you relax, the more aligned you become with the reality you wish to experience. People often believe that if they do not constantly think about their desires, worry about them, or strategize how to bring them into existence, they will not manifest. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how creation works. The truth is that obsession, stress, and overthinking only push your desires further away. When you are anxious, you are sending a signal that you do not yet have what you want. You are affirming lack, reinforcing separation between you and your manifestations. But when you relax, you send a completely different signal, a signal of trust, a signal that what you desire is already yours. This state of relaxed certainty is what brings your manifestations to you with ease. Think of water flowing down a river. When the river is clear and unobstructed, the water moves effortlessly, finding its way to its destination with ease. But if the river is clogged with debris, the flow is disrupted, and the water struggles to move forward. Your mind works in the same way. When it is filled with doubt, worry, and mental noise, it becomes difficult for your desires to flow into your reality. But when you clear these obstructions by relaxing and trusting, you create an open channel through which your manifestations can effortlessly arrive. Relaxation is not passivity. It is an active state of trust. It is the quiet confidence that what you have asked for is already on its way. This is why those who succeed in manifesting their desires do not cling to them desperately. They do not beg, chase, or force. Instead, they rest in the certainty that their desires are inevitable. They understand that the very act of relaxing is a demonstration of faith, and faith is the force that brings all things into being. Imagine a person who desires wealth but constantly worries about money. They check their bank account multiple times a day, stress over every expense, and question whether abundance will ever come. Their energy is tense, frantic, and full of doubt. In this state, they are not aligned with wealth. They are aligned with lack. Their actions may be aimed at attracting money, but their energy is repelling it. Now imagine another person who desires wealth but chooses to relax. They hold an inner certainty that abundance is flowing to them. They do not stress over money because they trust that it will always be available. Their energy is calm, open, and receptive. This person naturally attracts opportunities, resources, and financial abundance, not because they are forcing it, but because they are allowing it. This principle applies to all manifestations, whether it be love, success, health, or happiness. When you relax into the feeling of already having what you desire, you create the perfect conditions for it to appear. But when you resist, stress, or doubt, you block it from coming. Your job is not to figure out how everything will unfold. Your job is to rest in the feeling that it already has. The universe responds to your state of being. If your state is one of peace, trust, and fulfillment, your reality will reflect those same qualities. Many people struggle with relaxation because they have been conditioned to believe that effort and struggle are necessary for achievement. They associate success with hard work, tension, and relentless striving. But true success is effortless. It does not come from stress, but from alignment. The most powerful creators are those who understand that their external world is shaped by their... They know that relaxation is not laziness. It is the highest form of mastery. It is the ability to remain calm, centered, and trusting, even when external circumstances seem contrary to their desires. The moment you relax, you enter a state of receptivity. You move from force to flow, from doubt to knowing. You stop trying to control every detail and instead allow life to unfold perfectly in your favor. You become like a magnet, effortlessly drawing in everything you desire, and as you do, you realize that manifestation was never about struggle. It was always about surrendering to the power that is already within you. Faith is effortless when you trust the process. It is not something you need to force or struggle to maintain. It is not about constantly reassuring yourself or battling against doubt. True faith is a state of deep inner knowing, a quiet certainty that what you desire is already unfolding, even if you cannot yet see it. Just as a seed does not struggle to become a tree, your manifestations do not require constant effort to come into being. They require belief, trust, and a willingness to allow the process to unfold naturally. Most people misunderstand faith because they confuse it with hope. Hope looks toward the future, uncertain and hesitant, wishing for something to happen. Faith, on the other hand, exists in the present moment as an unshakable reality. It does not wait for external proof. It creates proof by assuming the outcome is already guaranteed. This is the essence of effortless manifestation. When you embody the feeling of already having what you desire, there's no need to force anything, no need to chase, no need to question. You simply know, and in that knowing, everything aligns. The greatest obstacle to faith is the habit of looking to the external world for confirmation. People constantly check their circumstances, looking for signs that their manifestation is coming. But this is backward thinking. The physical world is always a reflection of the inner world. If you believe that something is missing, your reality will continue to show you lack. If you believe that your desire is already yours, your reality must eventually mirror that belief. This is why true faith requires you to stop seeking validation from the outside and instead turn inward, anchoring yourself in the feeling of having what you desire. Consider the way nature operates. The sun does not struggle to rise each morning, it simply does. The river does not force itself to flow to the ocean, it follows its natural course. The flower does not doubt whether it will bloom, it simply unfolds at the right time. Everything in existence follows a divine order, an effortless unfolding. Your manifestations are no different. When you trust the process, when you relax into faith, you align yourself with this natural flow. You allow things to come to you rather than pushing them away with impatience and doubt. Faith is not about pretending that negative thoughts do not exist. It is about recognizing them for what they are, temporary illusions that hold no real power unless you give it to them. The moment you entertain doubt, you weaken your manifestation. But when you dismiss doubt as irrelevant and return to the feeling of already having, you strengthen your creative power. Faith is about consistency, about persistently dwelling in the assumption that what you desire is already a part of your reality. The most powerful creators in history did not manifest through force. They did not achieve their dreams by doubting themselves or by constantly second-guessing their vision. They moved with certainty. They believed in their success before the world gave them any reason to. They saw their reality in their minds first and carried themselves as if their desires were already fulfilled. This is what set them apart. They understood that faith is not something you turn on and off. It is a way of being, a way of seeing the world from a place of deep conviction. When you fully trust the process, you no longer feel the need to rush or manipulate circumstances. You no longer feel desperate or fearful. You move with ease, with confidence, knowing that everything is already aligning in your favor. You act as though your desire is already yours. And because of this certainty, it must eventually materialize in your reality. There is no force involved, no struggle, no need to beg the universe for anything. You simply rest in the awareness that it is done. This is why faith feels effortless when it is genuine. When you truly believe in something, you do not worry about it. You do not obsess over whether it will happen or constantly check for signs. You live as if it is already real, and in doing so you make it real. The mind that is calm, trusting, and unwavering in its conviction is the mind that effortlessly manifests its desires. There is no resistance, no tension, only the natural unfolding of what has already been assumed as true. When you reach this level of trust, you experience a profound sense of freedom. You no longer react to circumstances, you create them. You no longer chase after things. They come to you. You no longer need external validation because you already know the outcome. This is the power of true faith. It is not about hoping. It is about knowing. It is not about waiting. It is about being. There is a beauty in healing from being here, but it is a beauty in waiting and being. And the moment you embody this knowing, you step into a reality where your desires unfold effortlessly, as if they were always meant to be. Your emotions are the key to unlocking everything you desire. They are not random reactions to the world around you. They are powerful forces shaping the very reality you experience. Most people live as if their emotions are dictated by external events, as if they have no control over how they feel. But the truth is, your emotions are not just responses, they are instructions. Every feeling you consistently dwell in is sending a message to the universe, a signal that determines what manifests in your life. If you constantly feel frustrated, anxious, or doubtful, you are telling the universe that this is the state you wish to remain in. You may say you desire success, love, or abundance, but if your dominant emotions are aligned with lack, struggle, and disappointment, that is what will continue to appear in your reality. This is why manifestation is not about words. It is about vibration. You cannot fake emotions, and you cannot trick the universe. You may say, I believe my desire is coming, but if your emotions are filled with fear and uncertainty, your true request is not for the desire itself. It is for more fear and uncertainty. When you learn to control your emotions, you take control of your manifestations. You no longer react to the world, you create it. Every time you feel a strong emotion, you are molding reality in that direction. If you feel joyful, grateful, and fulfilled, you are shaping a world that reflects those feelings back to you. If you feel stressed, desperate, or doubtful, you are shaping a world that confirms those emotions instead. This is why it is crucial to choose your emotions wisely. to consciously dwell in states that align with the life you desire. This does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending to be happy when you are not. It means mastering the art of shifting your emotional state at will. It means refusing to let circumstances dictate how you feel, and instead deciding in every moment to embody the emotions of the reality you wish to experience. The person who desires love must not wait for a relationship to feel love. They must become love itself. The person who desires wealth must not wait for money to feel abundant. They must dwell in abundance now. The person who desires success must not wait for external recognition to feel accomplished. They must carry the energy of success before the world reflects it back to them. Many struggle with this because they have been trained to react to their environment rather than shape it. They believe that emotions are responses to events rather than the cause of them. But those who master manifestation understand that emotions precede reality. They do not wait for things to change before they feel different. They feel different first, knowing that reality must shift to match. This is why visualization is so powerful. It allows you to generate the emotions of your desired state before it becomes physical. But visualization alone is not enough. The feeling must become your natural dwelling place. It must be the state you return to over and over until it becomes your dominant vibration. There is no need to force emotions, no need to struggle or pretend. Simply notice what you are feeling at any given moment and ask yourself, is this emotion aligned with the reality I desire? If it is not, shift it. Find something to be grateful for. Find a reason to smile. Find a way to embody the state of already having what you want. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about recognizing that reality is a reflection of your inner world. If you want your external world to change, your internal state must shift first. Some believe that emotions are fleeting, that they come and go without control. But emotions are habits, just like thoughts. The more you practice dwelling in a certain emotional state, the easier it becomes. If you have spent years living in stress and worry, shifting to peace and certainty may feel unnatural at first. But just as a river carves a path through stone over time, so too can you carve new emotional pathways in your mind. What was once difficult becomes effortless. What once required effort becomes your natural way of being. The most powerful creators in history did not wait for circumstances to change before feeling victorious. They felt victory within long before the world acknowledged it. They did not let failure, setbacks, or delays shake their emotional state. They remained unwavering in their chosen feeling, knowing that the world would eventually conform. This is the true secret of manifestation. Reality bends to those who refuse to let external events dictate how they feel. When you master your emotions, you master your life. Nothing is more powerful than a mind that is in control of its own emotional state. It is the difference between struggling against life and allowing life to unfold in perfect harmony with your desires. Detachment is the secret to receiving what you desire. Most people believe they must constantly focus on their manifestation, thinking about it every moment, checking for signs and questioning whether it is coming. But this very act of clinging to their desire creates resistance. It sends a message of lack, of not having, of desperation. When you are desperate for something, you are affirming its absence. When you constantly seek reassurance, you are reinforcing doubt. True manifestation happens when you let go, when you trust so completely that you no longer need to question whether your desire is coming. You know it is done, and because of that knowing, you release all worry, all impatience, all attachment. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the soil the process is unfolding as it should. You water it, you allow the sunlight to reach it, but you do not interfere. You do not obsess over it. You simply trust that in time it will sprout. Your desires work the same way. The moment you set an intention, the seed is planted. Your only job is to nurture it with belief, to remain in the state of already having, and then to release it, allowing it to unfold in its own perfect time. Many struggle with detachment because they mistake it for not caring. They believe that if they do not constantly think about their desire, it will not manifest. But the opposite is true. The more you obsess, the more you introduce resistance. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means unwavering trust. It means knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. It means understanding that your desire is already yours, so there is no need to force, chase, or beg. The more relaxed you are, the faster it comes. When you cling to a desire, you trap it. You create tension in your energy, and that tension repels what you want. Have you ever noticed that? When you stop worrying about something, it suddenly works out. When you stop chasing a person, they become more interested. When you stop stressing over money, opportunities arise effortlessly. This is the power of detachment. It removes resistance, allowing your manifestation to flow naturally into your life. The universe operates on energy, and energy must be free to move. The more you hold on tightly, the more you block it. Letting go does not mean giving up, does not mean abandoning your dream. It means releasing your need for it to happen in a specific way or at a specific time. It means trusting that the process is already in motion and that your only job is to remain in alignment. When you are detached, you move with ease. You carry yourself as though you already have what you desire. You do not need proof because your faith is proof enough. And because you are no longer resisting, the physical world has no choice but to conform. Detachment is freedom. It releases you from the endless cycle of questioning, doubting, and seeking validation. When you let go, you shift from a state of wanting to a state of knowing. You no longer hope for your desire. You live as though it is already done. You no longer wait anxiously. You move forward with confidence, knowing that what is yours is already making its way to you. This state of ease, of certainty, is what allows manifestations to unfold effortlessly. Most people believe they must work hard, struggle, and constantly effort their way into receiving. But the truth is, ease brings results faster than effort ever could. When you detach, you open yourself up to receiving in the most unexpected, effortless ways. The universe is infinitely intelligent. It knows the fastest, most harmonious path to bring your desire to you. But if you are too focused on one specific way, it must happen. You may miss the better, faster way that was already available. Detachment allows infinite possibilities to work in your favor. Think about the things in your life that came effortlessly, the opportunities that arose when you least expected them, the relationships that blossomed naturally, the moments when everything aligned without struggle. That was the power of detachment at work. It was not forced, it was not overthought. It simply happened because you were in a state of allowing, not resisting. When you embody this approach in all areas of life, you become a magnet for your desires. You do not need to push or pull. You simply exist in a state of effortless receiving. The moment you detach, everything shifts. You release the pressure, and in doing so, you create the perfect conditions for your manifestation to arrive. You move through life with peace, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You no longer chase, because you know that what belongs to you will find its way. And in this state of trust, of ease, of surrender, you realize the truth. You were never separate from your desire. It was always yours. It was always waiting for you to let go, so it could finally arrive. Faith is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is the unseen force that turns imagination into reality, the energy that transforms thought into form. Without faith, manifestation is impossible, for faith is the certainty that what you desire is already yours. It is not hope, nor wishful thinking. It is an unshakable knowing that does not waver, no matter what the physical world appears to be showing you. Faith does not ask for proof. Faith is the proof. When you believe with absolute conviction, the world has no choice but to reflect that belief back to you. Most people struggle with faith because they are conditioned to rely only on what they can see. They trust in physical evidence, in external validation, in logical sequences of cause and effect. But true faith does not operate this way. It requires you to believe before there is any sign that what you desire is coming. It requires you to walk forward as though the path is already laid before you, even when you cannot see it yet. When you develop this kind of faith, you transcend doubt, fear, and hesitation. You step into a state of effortless creation, where the world bends to match your inner certainty. The power of faith lies in its ability to make the unseen real. Whatever you accept as true in your mind must become true in your experience. This is the law. The problem is that most people place their faith in the wrong things. They have faith in struggle, in failure, in lack. They believe in their limitations more than they believe in their potential. And because they believe so deeply in these limitations, they manifest them over and over again. Faith is always working. It is just a matter of where you direct it. If you place your faith in obstacles, you will experience obstacles. If you place your faith in success, success will unfold. If you place your faith in the unseen reality of your desire, it must come to pass. Faith is not blind optimism, nor is it denial of reality. It is the deep inner conviction that reality is shaped by the unseen forces of the mind. It is knowing that your current circumstances are not permanent, that they are merely reflections of past beliefs. And if past beliefs created this reality, then new beliefs will create a new one. Faith allows you to live beyond appearances. It frees you from reacting to the world and instead empowers you to create it. When you have faith, you move differently. You do not seek reassurance because you already know your desire is on its way. You do not waver in your emotions because you trust in the process. You do not allow delays or temporary setbacks to shake you because you understand that they are just part of the unfolding. Faith is unshakable. It does not falter when results are not immediate. It does not crumble under doubt. It is steady, constant, and movable. This kind of faith is what makes manifestations inevitable. Most people only believe in their desires when they see progress. They allow their faith to rise and fall based on external circumstances. But true faith does not operate on conditions. It does not wait for proof before believing. It believes first, knowing that belief itself is what creates the proof. The moment you accept something as true in your mind, reality begins to shift to accommodate it. But if you continuously waver, one moment believing, the next moment doubting, you create conflicting instructions, and your manifestation is delayed. Faith must be firm. It must be unwavering. Faith is not just about thoughts. It is about embodiment. It is about carrying yourself as if your desire is already fulfilled. When you truly believe, you no longer act from a place of wanting. You act from a place of already having. Your posture changes. Your energy shifts. Your decisions reflect someone who is already in possession of their desire. This is why those who have true faith seem to manifest effortlessly. They have already assumed the state of being they desire, and the world simply catches up. The greatest manifestations in history were born from faith. Those who achieved the impossible did not wait for proof before believing. They believed first, and the proof followed. They did not allow circumstances to dictate their conviction. They held firm in their knowing, even when everything around them suggested otherwise. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind of faith that bends reality. It is not passive. It is an active force that commands the unseen to become seen. Faith does not mean waiting idly for your desires to appear. It means stepping into the world each day with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. It means living in alignment with your belief, making decisions from the place of already having, speaking as though it is done, feeling as though it is real. The universe responds to certainty, not hesitation. It does not reward doubt. It rewards conviction. The moment you declare something as yours with unwavering faith, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that declaration. Faith is not just a belief, it is a command. And when you master it, you master the art of creation itself. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools in manifestation because it aligns your energy with abundance. When you express gratitude, you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is already present. This simple yet profound practice opens the doors to receiving more of what you desire, because gratitude sends a message to the universe that you are ready and willing to accept more. It is a vibration of abundance, and the more you focus on what you are thankful for, the more you attract into your life. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you for the things you already have. It is about recognizing the potential and the blessings in everything around you, even before they manifest in your physical reality. It is about feeling grateful for the desires that are on their way, for the opportunities that are about to unfold, for the people and experiences that are already aligning to bring your dreams to life. When you practice gratitude in this way, you are not simply waiting for good things to come, you are actively preparing to receive them, acknowledging that everything you desire is already in motion. Most people wait until they receive what they want before feeling gratitude. They think they must see evidence before they can feel thankful. But true gratitude goes beyond external circumstances. It is a mindset that transcends what is currently visible in the material world. It is the ability to feel thankful for something that has not yet appeared, knowing that the feeling of gratitude is the very energy that brings it to you. When you express gratitude, you are tapping into the universal law of attraction, which states that like attracts like. The more you focus on gratitude, the more you magnetize positive experiences into your life. Gratitude also helps you detach from the outcome. When you are grateful for everything as it is, you stop stressing over when or how your desires will manifest. You are no longer attached to the need for a specific result. You simply trust that everything is unfolding in divine order, and you express gratitude for the process. This shift in perspective takes you out of the energy of lack and places you into the energy of abundance. You are no longer waiting for something to change in order to feel good. You are choosing to feel good now, in the present moment, no matter what. The more you cultivate a practice of gratitude, the more you begin to notice the small miracles that surround you every day. You start to see the beauty in ordinary moments, and you become aware of the subtle ways in which your desires are being fulfilled. This awareness is the key to manifesting faster. The universe is constantly sending you signs, synchronicities, and opportunities. But if you are not paying attention, you may miss them. Gratitude opens your eyes to these signs, and when you acknowledge them, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. One of the most transformative aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift your internal state. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you elevate your vibration. Your energy becomes lighter, brighter, and more magnetic. You stop living in a state of scarcity, fear, or worry, and instead you begin to embody abundance. The more you embody abundance, the more it flows to you. Gratitude becomes a powerful practice of self-empowerment because it reminds you that you are in control of your energy. You are not at the mercy of your external circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. And gratitude is the tool that helps you align with the flow of abundance. Many people struggle with gratitude because they feel they have nothing to be grateful for. They focus on what is wrong or what is missing in their lives, and this mindset only perpetuates their feelings of lack. But gratitude is not about having everything you want. It is about appreciating the present moment, the breath in your lungs, the opportunities that exist even in challenges, and the fact that you are alive and capable of creating the life you desire. When you shift your focus to the things you can be thankful for, even the smallest things, you shift your energy, and you begin to see that there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude also deepens your connection to the universe and to the process of manifestation itself. It is an acknowledgement that you are part of something much larger than yourself, that you are always supported, and that the universe is always conspiring to help you. By expressing gratitude, you honor the abundance that already exists in your life and open yourself to receiving even more. You stop living in the mindset of lack and begin to embody a mindset of abundance, and that is the key to manifesting anything you desire. The practice of gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It is about living in a state of appreciation and abundance. It is a mindset that allows you to experience life from a place of fulfillment rather than lack. When you make gratitude a daily habit, you begin to notice how the universe responds to your energy, bringing you more of what you are thankful for. As you align with the vibration of gratitude, you magnetize your desires into reality, making manifestation effortless and natural. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to everything you have ever wanted. And the more you practice it, the more your life will reflect the abundance you are so deserving of. In conclusion, relaxation, detachment, faith, and gratitude are the essential keys to manifesting anything you desire. Each of these practices helps you align with the universal flow of abundance, allowing your desires to come to you with ease. When you relax into the knowing that what you seek is already yours, when you release attachment and trust in the unfolding process, when you embody unwavering faith, and when you practice gratitude for what is and what is yet to come, you open yourself to receiving in the most profound ways. Manifestation is not about forcing things into being or struggling to make them happen. It is about allowing, trusting, and embodying the energy of what you desire. As you cultivate these principles in your daily life, you will begin to see that everything you want is already making its way to you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, and your energy all create the reality you experience. And when you operate from a place of relaxation, detachment, faith, and gratitude, you become a magnet for your desires, attracting them effortlessly into your life. The universe is always listening. It is always responding to your vibration. When you align your inner world with the reality you wish to see, everything begins to shift. Your desires are not out of reach. They are already yours. You simply need to relax, trust, and allow them to unfold in their perfect time. So, take a deep breath, let go of any doubts or fears, and know that what you have asked for is already on its way. And the moment you relax into this truth, your manifestations will flow to you just as you have always dreamed. Is it very? Ibumbe.